I think they're closer in general than they've been any time in the last 3 years, but it's still not there. And as I said, and he has said, and others have said, he's done an extraordinary job at the highest levels of our government. The president has put out everybody you can imagine, Ambassador Witkoff, myself, the National Security Advisor, the Vice President, been involved and engaged in this effort to bring the two sides closer so we can have path to peace. By the way, that's something that should be celebrated. He's trying to end a 3-year war that has no military solution, where every day people are dying, especially on the Ukrainian side, in many cases civilians and children, as we've seen the images over the last few weeks. He's trying to bring this war to an end, and we've made real progress. But those last couple steps of this journey were always going to be the hardest ones, and it needs to happen soon. We cannot continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to American Spirit Unfiltered. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell, because here, we stand up for American values, American strength, and American truth. Now, today, we're diving into something that's been making rounds in the news. NBC just posted an interview with Secretary Marco Rubio, and boy, it deserves a real American reaction. The video is titled Secretary Marco Rubio Says Russia-Ukraine Peace Deal is Closer, but Still Not There. And let me tell you, it's full of the usual political talk. But underneath all the noise, there are a few key things real patriots need to understand. First, our President Trump is about to hit his 100th day in office. And unlike the less favored professor,
as I said, to dedicate time and resources to this effort if it's not going to come to fruition. So the last week has really been about figuring out how close are these sides really, and are they close enough that this merits a continued investment of our time as a mediator in this regard.
What is the timeline? Are you talking weeks or months? How long are you willing to give them to reach a peace agreement?
Well, I always think it's silly to set a specific date or whatever, but I can just tell you that almost 100 days into this presidency, the president has dedicated a tremendous amount of time and energy to this. And we think we brought the sides closer than they've been in a very long time, but we're not there yet, and it needs to start happening. We need to start, I think this is going to be a very critical week. This week is going to be a really important week in which we have to make a determination about whether this is an endeavor that we want to continue to be involved in, or if it's time to sort of focus on some other issues that are equally, if not more important in some cases. But we want to see it happen. There are reasons to be optimistic, but there are reasons to be realistic, of course, as well.
Professional politicians who just sit around and talk. Trump's actually been working hard on an issue that really matters, trying to bring an end to a brutal, bloody conflict between Russia and Ukraine. A war where innocent civilians and kids are dying. That's leadership, folks. Now, Secretary Rubio admits that thanks to this administration's efforts, we're closer to peace than we've been in over 3 years. Think about that. 3 years of senseless bloodshed, and now, with real American strength back in the White House, we finally have a shot at peace. Not through weakness, not through apologizing to the world, but through power, diplomacy, and putting America's influence to good use. Rubio even said it himself. Trump didn't just send a memo. He sent everyone, Ambassador Witt, the National Security Advisor, the Vice President, the full weight of the U.S. government is behind this push for peace. That's what happens when you have a commander-in-chief who actually believes in peace through strength. But listen, folks, Rubio also warns us that we're not there yet. He's right. Peace is hard. Real peace, not the kind Obama used to talk about while drones flew overhead, takes real negotiation, real backbone. And this administration isn't handing out blank checks to either side. They're telling Russia and Ukraine, you want American help? Then prove you're serious about peace. Rubio makes another great point. We can't waste time and resources forever. If these nations don't want to work toward a real solution, then we as America have every right, every right to walk away and focus on our priorities. Because let me tell you, friend, we got plenty of problems here at home that deserve our attention. Our border crisis, our struggling veterans, our crumbling infrastructure. We have to put America first. Always. Rubio says the next week is critical. That's absolutely true. Either they move closer to peace, or America moves on. And frankly, that's how it should be. We're not the world's babysitter. We're the world's greatest nation. And it's high time others started treating us that way. Now, I'm all for helping innocent people. I believe in standing up for what's right. But I will never support endless, aimless involvement in foreign wars where our brave men and women are sent overseas while our own people suffer. That's what the globalists want. Not us. President Trump's approach is smart, patriotic, and tough